Okay, so there were also questions about where things are posted and how to find stuff. Bless you.
God bless you.
So let's see. This is what it looks like for you guys. And the top module. Okay, thanks. Can you show me your homework, please? There's the syllabus that has all those irritating like regulations. Nick, put the phone away or I take it. There's an online textbook if you want to like reference a certain section. We will be using Delta Math, so if you go in here, there's the join codes per class period. If you click this link, it'll take you right there.
You need to rejoin the Delta Math.
You do need to rejoin because there are new classes. There's different set of students in here. So, yep, you need to rejoin. But all it is a matter of that click. I warned you yesterday that if you guys get below a 70% on any assessment, quizzes in particular, you need to do this cover page thing. I'll have a stack of them once they're needed, but you need to put your name and the date and what period you're in, the name of the quiz, and then these check boxes are, did you follow the directions for doing corrections? Because many of you don't. Thanks. Oh, it's a calculator. What do you need a calculator for?
Oh, this is a phone?
Yeah, I did. What are you doing this for yet? Don't do it yet. We're not there yet. Okay, so, and then we ask you to have an expert help you through it. And we want you to get someone to sign it that they really did help you. Ridiculous as it is, someone forged a kid's signature, and I know that kid really well, and his handwriting is completely illegible. And I was able to read the signature. I'm like, Ben, you didn't sign this, did you? No. So, don't be silly. But what Hai was asking about, so this top thing has useful stuff to it, but then here under the page, it says what our goals for the day is, the notes for the day, and then this is a link to all of the videos. It's a YouTube playlist. Rare, I don't expect it to be visited often, except if you were absent, Will and Mia. Go there. Also, new thing, trying to keep things on calendar. I don't do it well, but now if you go to calendar on that day and click it, we'll see if this works. It should take you, it should have taken you to the actual lesson. I'll have to fix the link. Anyway, so there's that. But on to today, those of you who weren't here yesterday, you need to have this chart of stuff in your notebook. I don't actually honestly expect you to really understand a lot of what this is, but the restrictions that we talked about yesterday, and we'll employ them today, are based on what these graphs are. And teaching this in honors, teaching this in BC Calc, it doesn't go through well any which way. But it's the reason why. So when you guys ask me, when you get more understanding, you're like, wait, why this? I can tell you, point to the graphs again and tell you why. All right. Can I see just the graphs? There's that chart that I just had up.
Wait, hold up.
Okay. So I need you guys to kind of just memorize this. If we're asking you to do undo trig, so sine inverse, cosine inverse, tangent inverse, and this front letter is capitalized, it means get your answer for sine from quadrant 4 or quadrant 1, for cosine from quadrant 1 or 2, and tangent from quadrant 4 or quadrant 1. So that's all the positive ones come from quadrant 1. The negative ones for sine and tangent come from quadrant 4. The negative ones for cosine come from quadrant 2. And a colleague of mine says it's the cost of doing business. If you spell it out, cosine, the origin, S and T, sine and tangent. Yeah, it's a kind of dumb thing. If you got something better,
Where's the business one?
The business is trig, inverse. It's, everybody's favorite, just like my YouTube lists, roar. So let's see. Well, what is sine of pi over 6?
I do not know.
So look at the triangles. Okay, Nick's on it.
Oh.
Nick said
1 over
1
2.
half. Yep, 1 over 2. And Monica, so if I said capital S, sine inverse of 1 half, what angle makes sine 1 half?
30.
No? Oh, 30 degrees in radians.
5 or 6.
5 or 6, yeah.
Mm.
What is sine of,
I don't get it, bro.
okay, Will, what is,
Just
William,
find the
what is sine of 5 pi over 6?
Sine of, say one
5 pi over 6.
5.
5 pi over 6 takes us to this quadrant. What's the reference angle?
30.
Pi over 6.
Pi
over
well,
6.
I don't understand radians anymore. I'm not talking in radians at all, or degrees. So
Pi over 6.
Oh.
So friends that don't do radians, 5 pi over 6, if that's fully reduced, this teeny tiny little leftover angle is going to be the whatever that denominator is, but pi over 6. Okay.
Is that
Yes.
work all the time?
Yep. If it's fully reduced, it works every time. The reference angle will be that little guy.
Okay.
So hold on. Just so still to try and do sine of 5 pi over 6. Do you remember, is sine positive or negative in that quadrant?
Positive.
Positive. So now that I've gotten that, sine of 5 pi over 6 is the same as sine of pi over 6, and it's going to be positive. Sine of pi over 6, Nick and Will both said it's 1/2. For those of you who don't remember that, looking at the triangles that you should have memorized, I'll draw it on here for 1. Across from pi over 3 is root 3. Across from pi over 6 is the 1, or opposite, and the hypotenuse is 2. Okay, so sine of 5 pi over 6 is 1/2. Sine of pi over 6 is 1/2 also, but so is sine of 13 pi over 6 and sine of 18 pi over 6. All of those are 1/2. So hold on, Hyde, one last thing. So when I'm asking this, what angle makes sine 1/2? There's an infinite number of answers. I don't want that infinity answers, unless you go to Blair High School and they do ask them for the infinity number of answers. They're irritating like that. This capital letter means restricted. Just give me the one answer that your calculator would tell me. So this one, where the sign thing's positive in this little swoop, right here. What is the one angle that fits in there? Pi over 6. Okay. Yep. Fernando?
Can you like say after the Blair thing, like one more time? Just like
Okay.
repeat that.
All right. Sine function, wiggle, 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 goes forever, yeah? If I wanted to know where sine is negative 1/2, here, 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 a whole bunch of them, right? So this is negative pi over 6, negative 5 pi over 6. This is 7 pi over 6, 11 pi over 6. Like there's a whole crap ton of them. They go on forever. So if it's lowercase, I'm asking for, tell me all of them everywhere. And it's actually not that hard. That's that's find this one, and then any number of full circles that take you there. And also 5 pi over 6 plus any number of full circles to take you to this one, and then a whole bunch of loopy loops. There you go. Blair Honors Math. Sorry, yes?
Go into the last page.
Go back to the last page. Isabel?
So I get all of that, I'm just, when I got lost in the whole, like, if it's capital and then like you did like those lines, I don't really get that, like, if it's negative in the, like, sine and tan negative in the quadrant 4.
Okay, all right.
But I knew that from before, like, isn't that the same thing as all students do?
Okay, but sine is positive in 2 quadrants and it's negative in 2 quadrants. Cosine is positive in 2 quadrants and negative in 2 quadrants. So I don't want 2 different answers. I don't want one day, Alvin's gonna say sine of 1/2, well, where's sine 1/2? Pi over 6. And he's right. And then the next day, Pi is gonna be like, well, I'm gonna say 5 pi over 6, because he's also correct. This capital letter, those of you headed to the SATs, says restricted. Make it the one and only answer that your calculator would ever tell you. The calculator answers come from these places for those functions. So let me just show you how we're gonna practice it. So capital letter says restrict, lowercase letter says make it more general. So can you guys take the worksheet out that you picked up on the way in, this side that says 4.7? And first thing, can you change all the letters on that front page to be capitalized? Because they should be, yes. Yeah.
I just want to ask you, this is looking good so far.
Make these all capitalized, please.
I just imagine.
No, make them all capitalized. It matters. Really? Monica, this is the thing that's hard?
No, I didn't. I said it's just bothering me.
It's just bothering me too. Make them capitalized, guys. Change the thing on the sheet. Because,
We use a calculator in this user.
no. Make it stand all capital, and we're not there yet. We haven't done a single example. Can you just fix the letters on here to be capitalized? Make them capitalized, please. It matters because we will change everything on you soon enough. Okay, so you guys are like plowing ahead and having questions because we haven't done a single example yet. All right. So to look at this example, capitalized arc sign, and it's a negative. So William, don't know if you like it or not, but sign negative values are going to come from this quadrant.
Yep.
It's that cost of doing business thing. Then, so what angle this way, going a short way, where does sine equal a half, negative a half?
Be negative 5 or 6.
Negative pi over 6. So the process is identify what quadrant you're in. It might land on the lines, and then we gotta need to do something different. Like this one, please. So this one, it's positive, right? Sine is the x values or the y values? Y values. So where is y equal to 1? Perfect. Pi over 2. Sorry. So that's easier to see.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, process. Identify the quadrant. Monica, sine inverse of root 3 over 2. What quadrant is it going to come out of? Sine comes from quadrants 1 or 4. Where do the positives live? Sarah says first quadrant. Do you agree with her?
Yes.
Sarah's right. You should agree with her. So quadrant 1. So Miliel, what angle is going to give us opposite Opposite is root 3 and root 3 and hypotenuse is 2. This is opposite what angle?
Pi over 3.
Pi over 3. And it's capitalized, so I only want one of them. We are not in the Blair Magnet program. We can just do one. 3 minutes of them.
I don't understand how you're saying it's conversion, but you can be first thing you say.
Okay, and Serene, does this have a capital letter on it?
Yes.
Yes. That means give me one answer only. And not any answer that you feel like choosing, but give the one answer that is from quadrant 1. So, guys, you're right that Serene's like 2 pi over 3 also works. Sine of 2 pi over 3 is also root 3 over 2. Correct. And your calculator will never say that. It could give me any number of an infinite number of answers, and I don't want it to do that. Like, well, because, it's Wednesday and it's a little humid out, I'm going to tell you 2 pi over 3 today, but tomorrow I'm going to go back to just pi over 3. Give me one answer. And the point of yesterday, yes, it was confusing, and it was kind of hope to get you to just go with it and memorize sine and cosine, sine and tangent. Give me the angles from quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. Cosine, give me the angles from quadrant 1 and 2. Sarah?
I'm sorry, but I'm kind of confused on the first one.
This
Yeah.
one? Okay,
Is that like arc sine? That's just like.
that's the same as sine inverse.
Oh,
Okay?
sorry. never mind.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Arc sine means the same thing as sine inverse.
Is it the
So
same
is
as
there arc?
cosecant?
There's arc cosine.
It is not the same as cosecant. I'm so sorry. We said that yesterday also. William, the algebra 1 last year, how did you read that?
Inverse of x.
F inverse, right? So
X equals
this is sine inverse, unfortunately, and it is not 1 over sine. If I wanted that to be,
Is it still hypotenuse over opposite, or is it going to be?
No, this is just binary.
It already gives you like when it's used.
if I wanted to say sine, the reciprocal of sine, this is what I would have to say. I'm sorry. All right. Gianna, cosine and it's negative. What quadrant am I going to look to?
I meant 2 or 3.
2 or 3, and with this little, it's not spectacular, but that thing, which one? It's got to come quadrant 2. So Adam, in quadrant 2, what angle makes cosine negative root 2 over 2? All right, let's make it easier. What little reference angle makes cosine root 2 over 2? Looking at, is it going to be the 30, 60, 90 or the
It's 369.
30, 60, 90 has these markings. The other one has those markings.
But how does it? I have a question.
So it's negative.
Oh, because you do the multiply by square root 2 by square root 2. That's why the bottom is,
English is so tough.
I think.
Okay. So, I start?
It's gonna be 3 pi over 4.
It's going to be 3 pi over 4. It needs to, for cosine to be negative, it needs to get all the way to quadrant 2. And Sarah's not happy with this being like cosine of pi over 4 is 1 over root 2. And that's not 1 over root 2. It's written differently. If I multiply by 1, it's an ugly looking 1, root 2 over root 2.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay, so we good where this,
Yeah.
like you figured it out, but. All right,
Good. You just want to. So cosine.
okay, the hard ones, cosine 0, like not cosine of 0, but where is cosine 0?
1.
Okay. Cosine of what angle is 0? You're right, cosine of 0 is 1.
Pi over 2.
Oh, good. So cosine is the x value. Cosine is the x value, whereas the x value is 0 at pi over 2. Somehow, how you doing? You're lost. Okay. All right. One step at a time. Yes. You see. What?
It's not a
These were ones
Yeah, I
to try to
didn't
get
know.
you warmed up. So no, they're not on the paper yet. And yep, the front is detective. Did you get one? Okay. All right. So first of all, for those of you like completely confused by this, you can
Take baby steps.
yeah, baby steps. Do you guys remember solving these? Don't mean to bring back bad memories.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way I recommend doing these is change it from log form to exponent form and say 2 to what power is 4, and someone already had said the answer. Well, that's going to be 2. So in these problems for trig, if you're like, I don't understand this notation, it's just wacky. What this means, we can change its cosine of what angle equals 0. And cosine is got to come from that region. Is cosine the x value or the y value? The x value. So where is the x value 0? Right there. So this thing, the answer is pi over 2. All right. Cosine is somehow root 2 over 2. So we want quadrant 1 somewhere. What angle in quadrant 1 makes cosine root 2 over 2?
So it's basically the same thing. Check me out, bro.
Looking at the triangles here. What angle is opposite? Pi over 4. Perfect. Okay. All right. Maya, how about this one? Tangent and it's negative. Capital tangent's inverse. So what quadrant am I going to look at? 2 and 4, but quadrant 2 doesn't work because tangent's undefined at these spots, so I'm going to stick over here. So I want something down here. All right, so now I need to remember what angle makes tangent positive root 3. Man?
Pi over 3.
It would be pi over 3. And that I want a negative angle, the answer is negative pi over 3. And okay. I teach BC calculus also, and my students give me 5 pi over 3, and that's wrong. You've got to go the short way. When it's restricted, you've got to go the closest way. Like driving around the Beltway, you wouldn't drive from Bethesda all the way around through Virginia, through the Mixing Bowl, and back this way to get to Silver Spring. You're going to go that way. Serene, what's your question?
Cosine of pi over 2 is 0. Cosine of 3 pi over 2 is also 2.
Correct. And, Serene, that's the point of this being restricted. Does 3 pi over 2 fit inside this little arch? So this is the point of the restrictions, is when it's capitalized, which those of you who still refuse to write the capital letter on the paper, it matters, because it means I'm restricting it. Isabel?
So when it's a capital thing like that, it's always going to be one of the right rectangles inside the triangle, like pi over 6, pi over 3, pi over 4.
Yeah, the catchy ones are the ones
Except for
that
the ones that are
on
the
okay, all right. So now let's get to this. Talk to the person next to you. And let's see if we can work with this.
Okay, bro, let's lock in. Help me figure this out.
So it's 150. I know it's like the rectangle is 30. So it's 5 or 5 or 3. It's not 5 or 3.
Alright, so first you gotta do is look for the right to solve where the cosine would be this and look for the primary. So
So negative the reference angle is 5 or 6.
so then where would what angle would
The chain quadrant? You want that reference angle to be 5 or 6. So what's the big one?
Is it 5 or 6?
what angle would make where would be adjacent?
So if
It would be hypotenuse.
it's
Yeah.
cosine
How do you know it's a 30?
and it's negative, so it's just like, if that had a negative and comes down, then it's
You know, that's still wrong.
automatically. But then if it's cosine and
Like,
it's
you see the
positive,
triangle.
you don't even have to take.
Well, wake up.
And then it's
Get the worksheet out,
I got
let's go.
5.
So like if it's sine and that's the negative in front of it, you know. And all of them,
gonna be.
every single one of them is positive.
I know this
And then
was
there's
the
negative. The third one is
That's gotta be the
Well, that's what I was saying. So when it's capitalized,
So yeah, that's what like helped me
Oh,
decide.
that's good.
So I think she just kind of.
But then for this one,
cosine is
this will go past 180.
correct.
So this is how, let me see how.
Cosine is restricted at
Like,
1 and 2.
I have a question.
Sine and tan are restricted to quadrant 1 and 4, but you gotta go the short way to quadrant 4, which actually is nice.
That's like.
If the reference angle is 5 or 6, and you wanna do negative, it's just negative 5 or 6. Maya, hang on, check, Sarah's gonna put this
So
together.
for this one right here,
Tangent.
how would I determine which angles come in from negative?
Okay,
Wait,
alright, that's been rationalized, so that is 1 over root 3 if it's positive, so it's just ugly, you gotta think about it. So, yeah,
That's my AirPods.
opposite over that,
That's
like,
my left AirPods.
your answer's right, you got the answer without me helping you, so what did you do to figure that
I
out?
just guessed because I did the opposite of.
Hey, guys, first of all, talk to the person next to you, and I will get to you when I can. Will, that's mine. No.
Well,
come on,
Yeah?
It also might be higher.
this should be hard with you, right?
If it's really positive.
Genevieve, we need help. Guys, a quick comment. A lot of you are asking about this one.
Sine inverse of
Oh. And
So for part two, would that be which one? No, that would be.
where's your
Right here.
Where's tangent zero?
I think it's still 5 or 6. Or it might be
Looking at So that's opposite, that's adjacent, what angle?
Yeah.
Sorry.
One,
What is opposite this angle?
So basically,
I haven't done that one yet.
What's adjacent? What's 1 over 1? Wait, 1 over 2? No, 1 over 1 is 1. So tangent inverse of 1 is pi over 2.
basically.
Okay, now.
Where am I seeing? No, since it's, I think since it's going like this.
So, you know what?
I have to.
It's about
That was I think why you did
Okay, so our cosine is.
no one else I knew.
Yeah, that's true.
You adopted.
No.
Second one's not popular. Is one of your second? It's third.
Uh-huh.
Second one. One of your parents.
Wait, you said I can back.
Oh, but it's.
Yeah, the triangle dots.
It's hard to say out loud.
Cosine. Cosine is.
Look, why did
What is it like? What is cosine? Adjacent over hypotenuse. So what's adjacent? So this is triangle, right? So what's adjacent? Like what's one adjacent to?
And so there's
One is
adjacent
adjacent to
hypotenuse.
hypotenuse.
Yeah.
One is
I didn't know which one it was.
Oh, yeah. Mine's virus. Yo, bro. Okay, wait.
But I don't know, I don't want to do those. It might change.
So when you look at like.
Yeah, that's where it is. Like, so anywhere where a hidden letter is, that's where it is. And then, yeah. So I don't know if that's always like, I don't
Like cosine of 5 pi over 4 is negative root 2.
You said what the why you said.
Okay.
Hey, figure it out. We're counting together. Monica, do something. Pick up the pencil, do more of that. Sorry, yes.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so it's saying what angle? So
would you
arc
like?
sine. Oh.
So with sine, you know what quadrant anything that's
whichever one is.
but it's negative. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
so zero.
Yeah, you're right, you're right. I know, but just for like cosine. So cosine either one. Alright, so you're right though, it's gonna be
Okay, so it's
it's
close.
negative.
But the angle is negative.
Four.
So
Okay, good.
These two
So
are
that,
zero.
no,
Right.
already sine is 5%, so it's just gonna
All right, and guys, hang on.
Is there an answer?
Well, not yet. There's Brittany's pointing out there's a mistake on this one, number 7. It's either arc sine of negative 1/2 or sine inverse of negative 1/2. This has both of them. That's a mistake. So that little lord should be gone. So sorry.
Didn't
Thank
even
you for
see
pointing
that.
out. I didn't either. Like, I've been looking at it for days and I didn't.
we should have found it out. I have to actually take one of these. So our cosine is our cosine is negative. So when you have a negative
Okay, so
cosine,
that's right. Is it 2 pi over 3?
yeah, why is it?
Yeah. And the reference angle is pi over 3. Yeah. And so wait. So basically this one out of 8 is like, if it's, since it's in the second quadrant, it's still gonna be positive, but like this number is still gonna be less than pi, but half, like 39 negative.
Oh, wait, no.
So
When you have
basically
one
take
over
whatever
two,
like
it's
the
gonna be.
positive one is and you just
If I have
say
cosine
so
adjacent.
that's like, if this were just one half, it would be pi over 2.
What's adjacent?
So then you take 1 pi over 3 pi over 3 and subtract that. And I think that's
Pi over 3, wow.
Venture.
Okay, so that's the reference.
Sine of 0.
Now you know you're in the second quadrant, right? You know the reference is 5 over 3, which is 6.
What has to be this?
So what's 1 even times 6? Okay, so how do you write 1? This is like.
Yep.
So it matters what, so in the history doesn't, I only need to draw.
Try to do one.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah.
And I think
Why
that's
would
what
it
it
was
is.
like, why does the teacher usually go off and
Just rotation.
Yeah,
You know, those two are the same.
Wait, how is it 35
Like,
saying
say,
That's why I was
3 minus 1,
She said that
three
she said
subtracting one is
he's going along.
They're not trying to solve
They're
it.
not
You're
space
going
this up.
along.
Okay.
You're going
Do that.
I have a question.
Yep.
I don't think the difference
But it's
was
like negative.
so if the inverse was not
Course of the day,
even
don't
still
worry about
Now
like,
you're
the
not-
web world.
Negative's not. Negative
tangent of angle gives you
It's
a
already
ratio. This is
referencing
the
the
inverse of a ratio gives you a
Negative
ratio.
6. I can't see that far.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, bro. I'll show you.
So this one's
My
not
representation, it would be.
Oh, wait, no, I have the wrong representation for them anyway.
Did you check them?
You were right.
I didn't think that's allowed. I said it has to be. Yes, it can't do it.
Want to bet?
Okay.
I know.
If anyone thinks they got number 1, can you put it up? Put it up?
I know he's wrong, but
He's not.
I got pi over 2 too.
Yeah, I got pi over 2.
Number 8.
Oh.
Is
Did I get it wrong? One and over.
Those are numbers very
Just think about it, it's right, it's
Yeah.
it's the X value.
Might be right.
That's zero, so you gotta be up right there.
I don't know.
I told you I could have helped you, bro.
Okay.
Someone want to do number 2?
Next.
Which one?
So what I just be live?
No, you can't.
What is 3 pi over 3? Isn't that right?
Oh,
So you're not doing
oh my
inverse.
God, yeah, I
This
always
is the
get
wrong
so-
angle. So, no.
You're right, you're right.
3
Will, can you do number 2 on board?
Yeah, I got the same answers next, so yeah.
Come on.
I'm confused about,
Okay.
He's wrong,
Okay.
but he walks away.
No, I need to grab my
Just
paper,
right,
bro.
like, no, you're close.
Yep.
But you just the math. I'm a TA.
So, guys, yes, we have,
Oh, it's too far.
Genevieve is in
Can we guess that
multivariable.
He's the one person that could ask that question.
It's 2 pi over 3.
Just what you mean. Where would negative pi over 3? Draw it on
Oh,
a
no,
line.
we're
Where's
just
your
gonna-
pi? You're trying to go to the fourth quadrant.
Why you make that?
All right. Do we need to talk about these?
Yeah, it's not
Talk
2 pi
about-
over 4.
Oh, okay.
Can we go over,
Let's go.
Nick,
Nick,
Nick, watch it.
I put
This
this.
method is
You
actually.
have, you got this? I was my head.
I know.
Oh, too hard.
It's making all
Too hard. I'm not
sense.
giving.
I'm not genius.
Okay, guys, hold on.
Teach me, I'm not genius like you. This just makes a lot more sense to me.
Guys, can you, someone is like, this works for me, so let's see what he has to say.
So because I know that this is like being like simplified, like ish.
So the simplified radical, he's unsimplifying the radical.
And so when I look at that, I'm like, okay, tangent. So
We're looking at this triangle that's not
and
on
it's
board.
positive. So I know that everything is positive here.
So quadrant 1,
Where are the 3, 1, 2? And I like to just draw my triangle to like make it more like it's right there in front of me. And then I looked at this as 1. So
in a
this
triangle we
is
have memorized.
this is a smaller angle because in a 30, 60, a 90 triangle, the smaller angle is always going to be pi over 6 because you just have to think. Imagine you're splitting the half a circle in 6 like sides. So pi over 6 is just it makes sense to me, and that's why I got.
5 or 6 is smaller, 1 is smaller than root 3, so.
Yep. And yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then, yeah.
And
All right, guys, just in front of this, please give it a try. Go over them tomorrow.
the rest of